What is up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News, the only live call-in show somewhere. Tonight we're going to be talking about the obvious event and a lot of things that just went down. Of course, an emergency was declared in the entire country. So we're going to talk about that and more right here on Marfoogle News. Remember me when I'm gone. Remember me when I am not here. Marfoogle News got to bring it to you. All right. What is up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News, the call-in show with no pre-existing conditions. All right, let's get this started. So, obviously, there's a lot of things going on, and it is not funny, but we're going to try to put as much positivity out there as we possibly can. And before we get started, know that this is a live call-in show, and we have no way of knowing what's going to happen every single show. And furthermore, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else who works with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. Now, for just to start out, if you don't know me, my name is Adam, aka Marfoogle, and of course, we have two channels on YouTube. The main one is at 152,000 subscribers. The backup one, Marfoogle TV, is actually at 108,000 subscribers. Now, you are probably watching live on DLive. We actually don't know how long we can continue actually taking anything over to the other platforms because of what is going on. I'll talk about that later once we get into it. But before we start, also know that every single one of these articles is not only backed up on our website, but also we want to make sure that we, one, are showing you official results of everything. And then if we do anything that's not official, we do it in a different way and we declare it that way. So if you see any news, it's the actual approved official CDC stuff. And then we go over it, our opinions about it. And then, of course, if there's anything else, if there's anything kind of weird and wondrous, we actually do that only over here on DLive. So, with that being said, let's do a quick sound check. Dex is going to be screening the calls. He also helps produce the show, and he actually has a full screen to my left dedicated to the callers. So if you have pictures or archived documents or a website or a video you want us to see, you can actually give that to him, and then I can share it with the rest of you guys. Dex, can we do a sound check real quick?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam.
So now we have a national emergency declared. This is pretty much the biggest thing that's happened in a while. Now, can you also say what it's like over there where you're at in Georgia?
Well, yeah, it's. I thought maybe yesterday everybody was just going to make their run to the store. Well, we woke up this morning and it just continued, and it's been happening all day. I just got word that all of our major grocery chain here is actually going to start closing early at night. I don't know if that's to help end off the crowds or if it's just to give them more time to clean. But yeah, it's pretty chaotic around here right now, and tensions are just getting higher and higher.
Now, earlier today, if you are basically under a rock, you would know that T-Man on Friday declared a national emergency over the CV crisis amid extensive disruptions to the economy and American life. We will overcome the threat of the virus, he said during a press conference in the Rose Garden of the White House today. It says the president's declaration of a national emergency means that it will enact the Robert T. Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act. It says, which allows the White House to mobilize the FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, and direct federal aid to states hit by disasters and health crisis. Now, there are some other things that this actually kicks in, so we will see what happens here, because this is a big, big step for the president to make. A lot of people thought that he wasn't going to do anything because obviously this is not exactly what they wanted. Now, today and the last time he spoke, I don't know if you guys agree, but he looked sick. Now, whether that's a regular flu or he just has a cold, you could definitely tell he was different. He didn't have that same, T-man confidence. He wasn't coming at you. He wasn't smart ass going, be quiet, this and that. You could tell he was out of breath. The man was literally he looked depressed. If I'm wrong, you let me know in the chat below. I'd love to hear it. But again, if you saw that speech, there was a couple times where he stumbled, which he's not a man that stumbles very often. And he even his, the times that he used kind of his T-man words like tremendous, some of them were just really, it was like he had to put umph in it to even say it. He did say a couple things that I was like, okay, there's the guy we know, but it was like, wow, he's really bad. Now, he is apparently getting tested. Is that correct? Or he already did get tested?
Yeah, he has not been tested. This is interesting. We've got the articles for this. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but they actually said yesterday, oh, no, we're not testing. There's no reason to test. And then he got basically hammered with a question today, which pretty much put him in a corner where he had to say, yeah, I'm going to get tested. So he apparently has admitted today live in that press conference that he's going to get tested.
And not only that, if you saw that, about 10 people came up at a time. They were like, here's the guy from Target. Here's the guy from Kmart. Here's the guy from Walgreens. Here's the guy from medical supply. And then there was the one guy that was like this. Hey guys, this is pretty bad, but we're going to take care of it. You guys know who I'm talking about. Either way, it was, you saw the people. I noticed that T-Man did not touch the podium, or at least from when I was noticing. I got to watch it again. But everybody else, naturally and by habit, went like this. They grabbed the mic, they grabbed the podium, they were touching things, and a lot of them did this. They touched the mic, and then they were going right up to it. The people that do not speak publicly, you could tell, they were like this. They were like, oh, yeah, we definitely do this. When you are thinking about this virus, you would know, don't touch the mic that 4 other people just touched, right? But, of course, that's not what happened. A lot of people ended up touching it, readjusting it, or trying to look above it. But yeah,
every single one of them shook T-Man's hand, and when they introduced him, they all shook his hand.
That's another thing. Like, what do you? If this is, I don't know. Even if you would think that right afterwards they must have like taken him in with hazmat suits and scrubbed him off. His suit just ripped apart. I have no idea. But that was. I noticed that too. I think everybody noticed every time he shook a person's hand. It's like, that's the president of the free world, and if there is something like this, and it is this bad, and the Canadian prime minister gets it, and all these other people, the Iranian president and all these folks, then what the heck is going on? Now, it says the White House CV expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says that the crisis could last up to 8 weeks. It says the White House CV expert Dr. Anthony Fauci said on Friday morning that the current state of the crisis in the U.S. would last for 2 months, and it's all on the table in terms of how much more severe things may come. It says in a series of interviews with Good Morning America and CBS this morning, Fauci gave a bleak assessment of what's still to come. It's certainly going to get worse before it gets better. There's no doubt we have not peaked yet. Now, we have shown you kind of what's going on here. I showed you before anybody else, the entire country and the entire world that was watching, they said, oh, that's a normal day at Costco. Now, of course, I'm quoting from the first state. We were the first state to declare a state emergency, and everybody went nuts. Everybody cleaned out the shelves. Everybody went to Costco. And I got all these comments, which those people, I guarantee you're out there and you're like, yeah, okay, it wasn't a normal Saturday. They were saying, oh, they've got tons of stuff. It's a normal Saturday. It was not. And that's because the rest of the country did not have it yet, right? I was trying to show you this is what your stores are going to look like. I told you, I said, get stuff now. I said, go get stuff before it gets like this. And some of you listened. I know that we've had a lot of people thanking the channel. Both Dex and myself have gotten tons of thank yous. We went out and prepared. There was nobody in line. We got tons of sanitizer. We got tons of everything. And that's because we went after we saw what happened in Washington. So I'm glad that our videos helped that. I'm glad that me going out there and actually showing you what was going on helped people. Because honestly, those people actually have stuff. Now, here's my fear, and this is sitting in the back of everyone's head. I'll tell you this much. We had to go to a Target last night. And the reason why we went there is because, one, they said that they were going to be cleaning every 30 minutes. And they said that, they're taking all these steps to do it, whatever else. When I went in, I'll tell you, this is kind of funny. You know how there's the 6-foot rule? Well, this one gentleman was walking up, and we're walking towards the sliding doors, and we're both sitting there, and about 30 feet from the door, we're really far from the sliding door. Normally, right when you're at the door, if somebody goes, you go, oh, you first. We were 30 feet away, and of course, he stopped and waited, and then I go, oh, he wants to go or something, and then I stopped and waited. We basically did one of those, oh, you first? Only we weren't in a tight space. We're 30 feet away from the door. And I stop, he stops, I stop, he stops. And then finally I go, no, you just go. And then I let him go first and then walked in after him. And then the most bleak situation, and you guys probably have not seen this yet. I think we're ahead. Because just a few days ago, going into the same Target, everybody's fine. Nobody's wearing masks. Nobody's nothing. I saw people wearing masks, other than myself, wearing masks, goggles. One kid came in, just a rocker kid, full-on gas mask, everything, and didn't even turn a head. Everybody was wearing masks except for the employees. Employees weren't wearing gloves, weren't wearing anything, and I'm thinking, what, as far as like, if they wanted to take it really seriously, if they're saying that they're one of the, approved businesses to stay open through this, then why were they not wearing gloves, changing gloves, all that kind of stuff? And you can just tell that they were like, dummies. Some of these people, I even overheard a conversation between an employee and somebody who was off that was coming in. And he's like, oh, you don't care about the CV or whatever? And she, oh, no, it's asymptomatic for young people. Like, I'm young. I don't have anything to worry about. I felt like just going, you are just not even smart right now. People have to understand that that's based on these numbers that nobody knows if they're even real. What I do know is now I personally know people that are not on this planet anymore. That's what I know. And I'm telling you this because people are going to give me another couple weeks of crap, just like they gave me 2 months ago when I said, get your stuff. And they're going to say, oh, yeah, I don't know anybody. Do you know anybody that knows anybody? Yeah, I do. And a lot. We're in the first hot zone, and it is now just going boom. And what's crazy is we still haven't tested that many people here. Now, my aunt just got tested. She actually went and her normal doctor offered it, and she took it, and she was negative, which is great because she's now turning 70 years old. It makes it so much more real. Now, saying that we don't want to spread fear whatsoever, that's why we want to make sure that we are spreading absolutely authoritarian sources on certain shows. And then on the other ones where we kind of go over those things, those are the ones that we end up, putting somewhere else or putting out part of something else. Because I think that we should be able to talk about this. But again, I see a big thing happening. First off, all over the country, internet is having random outages because everybody's working from home. Everybody's on their cell phones. Everybody's doing this. We are seeing actual cell phone outages. So what if you go to call 911 and you can't even get a call out? These are the kind of things that are actually happening. They're not saying as much as I think they should about this and about how they're overloading the system and you can't even get calls out sometimes. Now, as far as the bleak look inside this Target, it is unlike anything I've ever seen. I'll just tell you that right now. Everybody, it's like it hit everybody at the same time. People made fun of us for prepping. All the preppers out there that had stuff, we were all made fun of. You're crazy. Nothing's ever going to happen. Now that it's actually happening, all these ones are the ones that are fighting in the stores. They are literally fighting in the stores. I want to read you something before we get started. This is a friend of ours. And so this is somebody my wife has known since she was 19 years old, and they ended up going on a Las Vegas trip years and years ago. I want to read this because I want this to really, really, really sink in. It says, so today I decided to go to Costco because after today, and she's local, because after today I have the kids home from school. I wanted to get as much shopping done and my errands run before I have to take them with me anyway off to Costco. I go, no big deal, right? I was wrong. People were running, pushing, and shoving and acting total fool. It was embarrassing. As I entered the store, I was thinking everything is going to be okay because most people were acting pretty good. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a sea of people came pushing through the door way. Everyone started running, and yes, it was all over the toilet paper. I didn't even need toilet paper today, and I was there for pull-ups and peanut butter. I got pushed, shoved, slammed into, and even had someone try to steal my cart. And yes, it was all over toilet paper. Mind you, this woman was not there for toilet paper. I didn't even need toilet paper today. I was there for pull-ups. It says, and then I got pushed, shoved, slammed, and even had somebody try to steal my cart. I didn't know I was in the toilet paper line because I was trying to get to the back wall where the pull-ups are, and this lady, Costco employee, threw a pack of toilet paper in my cart. Like I said, I didn't need any toilet paper. I was just trying to get to the pull-ups. I put the pull-ups on top of the giant package of toilet paper and tried to get through the back all along the wall and come out the other side when a man came out of nowhere and tried to grab my cart away from me. And when I wouldn't let him have my cart, he tried to get the pull-ups out of my cart and threw them on the ground to get my toilet paper that had been buried underneath them. It says, no, I'm a pretty nice person. I didn't need any damn toilet paper today. If he would have just asked me, I would have gave it to him. I don't need to fight over toilet paper. I have plenty at home. I didn't go to the store to get any, but he was hell-bent on ripping my cart away from me, and when he wasn't successful, he tried to get the cart away from the woman who was next to me. She panicked and started screaming for help. A young man came over dressed in mostly camouflage. Guarantee you I know what kind of guy this is. He had a ball cap on backwards and stopped the man from stealing our carts. It was absolutely ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. So there's more to this. This was a Facebook post by a local friend of ours. And again, this guy tried to steal the cart away. When it wasn't successful, went to some other poor lady and tried to steal her cart just for this damn toilet paper. People, get your damn wits about you. If it does hit you, even if the worst case hits you, don't do this over toilet paper. You know, I just can't say enough about this. The toilet paper thing, spread this out. Tell somebody who doesn't even bring it up. The toilet paper was over one store that didn't have any, and somebody posted that on social media, and it went huge. There was no shortage of toilet paper at any point. There's tons of toilet paper, but now there's shortage because everybody's buying 30 packs when they should be buying enough for 2 or 3 weeks. It is absolutely unbelievable that things like this are happening right now. Not only that, it is looking like an apocalypse out there, and that's not to fearmonger. That's telling you the reality of what is outside of us. I mean, it is nuts. So here's what I suggest, and this is just something that we might do. I'm going to talk about grabbing my neighbors. And if people need to go to the store, we go to the store in the group. We actually say, hey, let's all get together. Let's do it together so people don't get hurt. So if somebody tries to steal the cart, we've got all of our sheriff people. I've got neighbors that are sheriff this, sheriff that, military guy this. We all go together and do this. If this is how it's going to be, because this is actually what's happening. So as far as what is going on and everything that is happening, this is our nightmare. This is the stuff that we've been talking about for years and been looked at like we're crazy. Now that it's happening, people don't believe it. Cognitive dissonance. And if you're in a state that's not like this yet, I've said it every day. Go and get your stuff. I don't think there's any states now that have any of the kind of stuff that you want, but please make sure you understand this. I'm going to hit most of these, then we're going to get to the phone calls. I do also want to clarify that we don't know if we can even go on YouTube with some of this. We're going to try to be as careful as possible. The thing is a lot of things are changing right now, and we got a heads up that here's the thing. Imagine if internet just completely goes. Imagine if what is happening in Italy happens here. They say that people are in houses and they're not collecting those people who are no longer with us. If that happens here, if this kind of thing happens here, they're not going to let it go out. So that's just that's my one thought as far as this goes. And I can't stress it enough. Be responsible, be logical, and do not. If you're a man who is going to try to rip a cart out of a woman's hands, just please go somewhere else. And I can't stress to you, just like the first time at Costco, the people that had nobody like this around them, they just didn't believe it. They said, you're full of crap. Now it is like this all over the country. I showed you what it was going to be like. I showed you the preview before it happened, and it is really that bad. So this isn't to scare you. This is to tell you what you are going to be walking into when you go to the grocery store. I wouldn't be embarrassed at this point if you care about that kind of thing. Honestly, I wouldn't. I wouldn't care about that kind of thing at all. Wear your stuff. Wear your gear. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next one. We're going to hit this. National Guard activated to combat CV spread in 6 states. More to follow. Now, I got information from the same source that talked about Tom Hanks. I just want to remind you of this. In fact, and I'm not trying to brag here. I'm just trying to tell you that we have some really great people in our group, and if it wasn't for them, this is why I'm asking. People, please sign up for alerts, sign up for things like that. So just in case. Five states in 9 days. March 11th. It is now the 13th. Now we are seeing that it's actually, it's faster than this. National Guard activated to combat CV spread in 6 states. So we've got National Guard in 6 states. We told you yesterday. This came out today. This news is now across the country. This is today's news. Yesterday, Ed was on here talking about the National Guard getting sent out and they didn't know where they were. These kind of things we have to watch and we have to be paying attention to. As far as all the little other dramas going on in everywhere, we need to drop that. We need to focus on essentially our loved ones, our family, making sure that everybody is good. And then also, I would suggest being extremely careful with your neighbors, but at the same time, you might want to, if you know your neighbors, if you are good with them, try to make an alliance. Sounds crazy, but we'll see. In the next 2 weeks, things might get extremely weird. It says around 400 National Guard personnel have been activated across 6 states to support operations to stem the spread of the CV, the National Guard Bureau said in a press release. The governors of Florida, Iowa, Louisiana, New York, Rhode Island, and Washington all activated components of their Army and Air National Guard. Guardsmen in California and Maryland are also expected to join their state's effort today. It says the National Guard is fully involved at the local, state, and federal level in the planning and execution of the nation's response. So this is the next step, and this isn't it by the hour. It keeps changing and changing and changing. So whether you're a gamer over on this platform or whatever, and I've noticed too, even the Even the gamers here are talking about this. All of the other people are starting to follow suit. And you know why? It's because people in Turkey, people in here, people in the UK, everywhere is being affected by this. The Australian Gives a Minute. Great channel on here. Guy goes over random stuff, talks about music, talks about all sorts of stuff. Last night I was in his chat. His concerts that he was going to cancel. We're talking about everywhere in the world. And now Australia has bans of 250 or more. This is a global thing. The entire planet is working together on this. I don't think there's anything that could get more creepy than this. Do you? Honestly. Let me see here. Thank you, Minnesota Man. Let's see here. Looks like we didn't change our title, Dex. I forgot, and you did too. Scott from OZ. We've got Thunderbird 36, Susan E, Lady GT 476. Thank you guys. I appreciate you all. Okay, hold on. Normally I don't do this, but this is somebody I need to get in here. I apologize. That was my sister. Now, she actually called in before. The school district where she's at was doing online schooling. Something has also changed all across the country too, and this is going to change everywhere that they were doing it. The superintendent in her district actually took a forward-thinking step and actually basically said, no school, we're going to bring you laptops. They actually delivered a laptop to my nephew and then said, we're going to do online schooling at 8 a.m. We're even going to bring you lunch. Well, apparently, if you are in school or even currently doing school, then you will not have access to emergency funding. If you needed to get any kind of funding from FEMA or anything like this, you would not be able to do that if you are in school. That's what I think, right? Dex, is this how... Did I read that wrong?
No, I think you're right. I got a notice today that they were, even the kids that had the lunches, they were taking the school buses and delivering lunches to them.
But now they're saying not even online school. No online school, right. No nothing. So they canceled it. So there's just no school until April 27th, or at least they say that, right? We don't know how long past that it's going to go. Now... so that district now just canceled it anymore. Everybody's disappointed, but that's the only reason. And why? Because they foresee all of these people using emergency funding. Italy now is at the point where they have stopped charging mortgages. The mortgage companies are saying, don't pay your mortgage this month. This is the largest thing we've ever seen. So no matter what you think this is, it's the scariest thing I've ever seen because the entire world is being affected. There's everything is canceled. Basically, the entire planet is getting locked down. Think about that. It's not just your neighborhood. It's the entire planet. It is all of these countries. Should we be scared? No. We should be smart. We should know the people we trust and love. They should be as careful as we are. We should be thinking about what we should have done months and months and years ago, which is planning and making sure that you have your stuff straight. The other thing, too, is this show might stop. I might not be able to do this anymore. We might not have internet. So I just want to stress to you guys, if we disappear for any reason, we might have to look at different things. We have our ham radio operating group, just in case, because who knows? It's not because the world will end. It's because the network will be so overloaded because no one is leaving. Everyone's going to be on Netflix or this or that. That sounds great, right? What I want to know is what is going to be happening outside of our doors. when we're not leaving? What could possibly going on? What or anything? It's just nuts. Dex, can we get my sister lined up on the show? I wonder.
Yeah, have her call me.
Okay, let me see.
She can just call into the show line.
Okay, let me.
Or you can give me the number and put it in our notes somewhere, and I'll just call her.
Okay, one sec. Absolutely crazy. I'm gonna send you her number because I can't do anything else. So here, let me. Boom. Okay. T-Man and Pence won't be tested after meeting with infected Brazilian official. Now we know that this is actually wrong. It says both the president and VP had almost no interactions with the individual who tested positive, the White House press secretary said. It says President T-Man will not be tested for the CV after coming into contact with Brazilian official who tested positive for the virus just days after participating in meetings with him in Florida, the White House said on Thursday. So, after today's meeting and after the declaration, there was lots of questions asked, and somebody put him on the spot and said, are you going to be tested? Are you tested? Are you going to be tested? Said yes. So, this is obviously not correct now. Who knows if that changed because they put him on the spot. Now we have T-Man being tested for the CV. Obviously, news changed very quick. So I'm going to try to play this real quick.
Yeah, I put those two together just to show the contrast.
Never mind.
Of
Hold on.
How it happened so quickly.
Yeah, well, we can't play the audio for some reason. We're having issues with this. Anytime the audio does go through, it ends up freezing up things. Yeah. So one thing that we're going to fix, another thing that we are constantly doing is trying to improve and upgrade the show. So this person put him on the spot. I'm going to just listen. She says, I know there's been a lot of talk about testing. I just want to make sure. So she's basically saying that all of these doctors want to test people and they can't. They're not able to even get the test. After today, is it going to be possible? If somebody wants to be tested, they can. They obviously went over their plan. And here's the craziest part. Google is putting together the freaking testing website. Now, Dex, from a tech perspective, you were in big tech companies. You were saying from a tech perspective, they are the obvious choice. They are one of the only companies that physically could put something together like this because it is a huge, huge thing to do something like this.
You think about building a potential database system where you're going to track all these people and you want real time, up to 200 million people to go in and put in their symptoms and determine, what location has a testing facility and will they be there and will they and can they get the information to the testing facility that somebody's coming and how many people are going to be there and know how to not overload one parking lot with another, right? So all of that is a really, really big deal. And if you're going to build that, companies might build that over the course of 6 months or a year, to build a big platform like that. So you need a powerhouse of developers. There's only a few companies I would trust to think they could actually pull something like that off in a very short amount of time. And Google obviously has the talent. There's a couple other companies that have the talent, and there's plenty of big companies that I don't think would do it that fast. It would take them a long time.
And what he means is thousands of coders. You're talking about thousands and thousands of coders that went into making that this quick. Or they had it done beforehand. Who knows? I don't know. And then, of course, we've got Miami mayor tests positive for CV after event with Brazil President Bolsonaro. Isn't that funny? And what's really scary to me is that we do see T-Man this sick, like visibly sick. Usually they would, do something like, how the NFL will literally, they used to just put a shot in their leg if it was broken and go play out there, just go for it. Here's some adrenaline. Bam, let's go. Usually they would not let him talk like that or whatever. I mean, the last time and this time, obviously he sounded sick. That's pretty freaky. I mean, the fact that he couldn't clear his throat, this is absolutely getting to be wild. This is movie wild. So, of course, they tested positive as well. If you would like to support us in a different way, you guys should be looking at EMP Shield. One thing that I think about is if anything goes down as far as our entire country is going to be locked down, I hope no one even takes advantage of this. But as far as one thing that kind of weirds me out is that there is a country we're not talking about right now. I'll let you guys figure that out. But of course, EMP Shield actually works with DoD. They work with the Homeland Security. Not only that, they are officially part of the DEMSO team protecting the Texas grid. If you would like to purchase one, you can go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. We'll actually protect against all three phases. It's American made and veteran owned. Now, one thing else is they're running a contest right now with the Foogle fam. So if you're saying, I've never been able to do it, here's the cool thing. Go to marfooglenews.com/contest and you can have multiple ways to enter. And then, of course, the winners will choose 3 devices, not 1, but 3 now. So $1,000 value for each winner. And there's going to be 3 winners chosen. You have to go to marfooglenews.com/contest to apply. Again, I think there's like 15 different entries, so make sure to do that and do it today. And then, let's see here. It's crazy how fast that changed. And then we have the China government spokesman saying U.S. military may have brought this to China. This is the actual China government spokesman saying that we may have brought it to them. Absolutely nuts. This stuff is getting said out in the public. It says a spokesman for China's foreign ministry suggested on Thursday that the U.S. military might have brought the CV to a Chinese city. And we all know which one. It says, which has been the hardest hit by the outbreak, doubling down on a war of words with Washington. China has taken great offense at comments by U.S. officials accusing it of slow react to the virus first detected in that city late last year and of not being insufficiently transparent. Well, again, they tried to hide a lot of this, but we don't know how many people are hiding. I think the entire world is, in my opinion, hiding a bunch of stuff. It says on Wednesday, U.S. National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien said that the speed of China's reaction to the emergence of the CV had probably cost the world 2 months when it could have been preparing for the outbreak. In a strongly worded tweet written in English on his verified Twitter account, the Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Zhao Lijian said it was the U.S. that lacked transparency. It says, when did patient 0 begin in U.S.? How many people are infected? What are the names of the hospitals? It might be the U.S. Army who brought the epidemic to us. Be transparent. Make public your data. U.S. owe us an explanation. That's kind of weird. When did patient 0 begin in U.S.? What are the names of the hospitals? I don't know. I don't know what to think. Again, this is all pretty crazy stuff. Regardless of where it came from, the fact is the entire country is going through something massive. Australia is going through something massive. UK is going through something massive. This is literally the closest to what we have had theories about for a very long time. For a very long time. I cannot say how crazy this is. This is, of course, an official pushes the conspiracy. that we did it. This is going to be pushed more. If you want to check out the rest of this article, you can go to marfooglenews.com. The worst case estimate for U.S. CV deaths. Officials at the U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Prevention and epidemic experts from universities around the world conferred last month about what might happen if the new CV gained a foothold in the U.S. How many people might perish, how many would be infected and need hospitalization. One of the agency's top disease modelers, Matthew Biggerstaff, really his name is, presented the group on a phone call with 4 possible scenarios, A, B, C, and D, based on characteristics of the virus, including estimates of how transmissible it is and the severity of the illness it can cause. The assumptions, reviewed by the New York Times, were shared about 50 expert teams to model how the virus could tear through the population and what might stop it. It says between 160 million and 214 million people in the U.S. could be infected over the course of this epidemic. According to one projection, that could last months or even over a year, with infections concentrated in shorter periods, staggered across time in different communities. Experts said as many as 200,000 to 1.7 million people could die. Okay. So, Dex, does that sound a lot like your numbers you did just a few weeks ago when the official numbers were a lot different?
Oh yeah, and I was just using one number as a target, and that target range can be anywhere from, 2% mortality rate to, 10, 20%. That's not going to be that high, but it's, even a half a point makes a huge difference when you look at taking and infecting so many millions of people. And this is got an R0 number, which R0 is the rate of infection, that's still staggering. It's above 1. So it's, it's 2 or more, sometimes up to 5 when they're measuring it. So that rate of infection is just going to transmit very quickly. And we're going to hit a lot of people in the population. And the more people that have it, the more people that end up having, falling victim to the disease.
No, and I'm going to pull up what you actually put together here, because it is pretty wild, the fact that you actually gave very similar numbers, and this was before any official said anything like this. Yes, look at this. This is something Dex put together, and it was basically saying that
the triangle on the left is CDC's triangle, and it shows the rate of infection, or the typical numbers. I want to say it's like I can see it now. 45 million people in America get influenza. And then because of that, there's upwards of, say, 61,000 people that perish due to influenza. That's a really low number. Don't get me wrong, 61,000 is a lot of people, but as a rate of against the 45 million, it's pretty low. But then when you take a look and say, okay, well, what if this actually infected the same amount of people, if it infected only 45 million people? And some people by the way, are estimating it's going to infect 150 million people, but let's just use 45, since that's what influenza does on an annual basis. If, you had a, 2% mortality rate, that's almost 1 million people. If you had a 3.6 mortality rate, I believe was the number that the WHO had reported at the time I made this, it's like 1.5 million people in the US, if 45 million were affected, would actually perish.
From a short little thing that's very aggressive, and anybody has a chance of getting it. So I guess it's really up to you guys what to believe. We give you all of the actual sources here. Again, just want to remind you, if you want to see any of the articles today, you can actually go to marfooglenews.com. When you go to marfooglenews.com, you will actually see that we have it organized by thumbnails, so you will look for closed until further notice. And then, of course, you will be able to see that we have taken the time to attach every single article that we use here today. We don't just pull up an article and read it. We give you access to it. We give you the background on it. We give you alerts. We give you everything else. So we're not just your average news truther. So check that out. So everything is right there. So you can access any tweet is going to be highlighted there. And then, of course, we have our not safe for YT button right there. You can click that and you'll be shoveled off into an amazing section of not safe for TV. On the end of that too, if you want to support the channel, all of our support, all of the different people we work with are all on the right side. All right. Absolutely tremendous. Yeah, so that was the worst case. Up to 150 million Americans could get this. That's what they're saying. This is official, right? So this is not some sort of theory from some fringe network. This is the main people saying this. And some say that that's not even enough, right? It says between 70 and 150 million people in the United States could eventually be infected with the CV, according to a projection shared with Congress, a lawmaker said Thursday. So this is what is public, what is actually going around. And then this, man, oh man. Mr. Bill Gates stepped down from Microsoft board. He resigned from this board and another, so he's actually stepping away. Remember, just a couple weeks ago, we showed you that the Disney CEO stepped down unexpectedly when he was supposed to step down next year. The MasterCard CEO stepped down. In fact, there were a few others, incredibly elites, that have just stepped away and disappeared. Last night, we actually shared an article. In fact, this is what's cool. So if I want to find an article from last night, it's one I didn't hit. So actually, I'll just hit it real quick right now. We can go to imminent lockdown. We can go to this. And it said the super rich are bouncing off to their bunkers, right? So we actually never watched or read this, I guess. So check this out. This is from The Guardian. This is absolutely nuts. If I can read it. Let's see. Says super rich jet off to disaster bunkers amid the CV outbreak. It says, like hundreds of thousands of people across the world, the super rich are preparing to self-isolate in the face of an escalation of the CV crisis. But their plans extend far beyond stocking up on hand sanitizer and TV box sets. The world's richest people are chartering private jets to set off for holiday homes or specially prepared disaster bunkers in countries that so far appear to have avoided the worst of the CV outbreak. Many are understood to be taking personal doctors or nurses on their flights to treat them and their families in the event they become infected. The wealthy are also besieging doctors in private clinics on Harley Street, London, and across the world, demanding private CV tests. What? So this is out of a freaking movie. This is out of a straight-up zombie apocalypse movie. They're bringing a doctor and nurses with them on their private jets and going off to just basically go off and go to some paradise island that does not have it. We are seeing a fantasy land in front of our eyes, and people are it's starting to hit them right in the side of the head. And we said a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, that, yeah, watch, it's going to be sanitizer first, then it's going to be regular food. We're ahead of you guys. It's already happened here. Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. I wanted to see if I actually have this. Let's see here. Last night I went and I absolutely shocked to see that not only is sanitizer, everything else, I'll try to find it. I have pictures of the entire whole wall of the entire store was empty. Everything they had there. Not just water, not everything. I mean, like everything. They're going down the line. And this is what's coming to you guys. Just saying. Okay, I'm gonna actually pull in. Hold on one sec. First off, I want to say if you guys want to get into Discord, go to marfooglenews.com. If you guys want to support us through Earthing, go to marfooglenews.com/earthing. Again, we have no idea how long things are going to go like this, but again, if you want to support the channel, it would be much appreciated. You can go to marfooglenews.com/earthing. And then, especially now, Dex, I would like you to go over to Nord real quick because we're going to get right into the calls. And then we're also going to pull in my sister. I know that she's got a time limit. I wanted to talk to her about what is going on over there. And then we are also going to grab people. If you want to give us a call, you can call us at 224400-MARF. Dex, if we can get my sister on, and then if you could pop in and do Nord, I'm going to open up the phones.
Absolutely, Adam. So NordVPN is a virtual private network. If you use a computer or a smartphone, and yes, I'm sure like everyone who's watching this show, that's you actually need a VPN. In short, Nord will hide your IP address from the bad guys. It's so easy to use. My mom can do it. I tell everybody that all the time. It's like a light switch. You turn it on, you turn it off. It allows you to protect your data, secure yourself when you're on your home Wi-Fi or a public Wi-Fi from the intruders being able to find you. You can actually use it on 6 different devices, your computers, your phones, anyone in your household. And then they have a special deal just for the Marfoogle fam. If you follow the link we have here, marfooglenews.com/VPN, or use the code Marfoogle, you'll get a special discount, and that will actually help the channel. So again, that's marfooglenews.com/VPN.
Okay, thank you, Dex. I just want to point out this is something I called a month ago, and it was due to the information coming in from our really good people here, and one of our really great sources. CV survivors may suffer from reduced lung function. This is coming. Again, these are all approved sources. This is what they're saying. But this is also confirmed by what we have seen from the actual doctors in the Foogle family. It was what I said about, I showed you guys the x-rays a month ago, and just a week ago when the other person said that they said it was like glass nodules. So not going to get too much further into that. You guys can read this article here on marfooglenews.com, or you can end up going through and getting to it later. Do want to make sure, though, let's see here. I got everything here. There's so much more, too. I mean, you guys have no idea. This is, and we're going to try to do some regular news for the other platform. We don't know what we're going to do right now because I feel something big is right around the corner. And I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about social media, everything. I don't think they're going to have a situation where they're going to have people talking about it like they were in Italy. All right. Let's pull in Lady Liberty 333. This is my blood sister. And let's go. Lady Liberty 333. What's up, sis?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. So the news this morning is that the school district where you're at is actually discontinuing school. Is that correct?
Well, ours was the first to close because I'm in North Shore District. So our superintendent made a decision out of an abundance of caution. And so she went ahead and shut our district down a little bit earlier. But yes, officially King County, Snohomish County, Pierce County are all closing. So
no. So I don't think you.
Here.
And because you called during the show, I don't think you realize this, but just a couple hours ago, they actually are canceling the schooling that you are going to be doing with your son. There's not going to be any more school.
Oh, you mean for like the rest of the year?
Well, no, like the school that he was doing at 8:00 in the morning, that's no more, because they want you to be able to get emergency funding. They're not gonna have him do school tomorrow morning.
Well, tomorrow's Saturday.
Well, okay. Thank you. That's my sister.
Yes.
But
Mom,
you get what I'm saying. So now Monday you will not have school.
Our school, so far, I have a lot of people here in our community that have kind of reached out to me. And we have a lot of resources here, so I know that we're really lucky. I'm lucky to be where I am. And because I do have health concerns, I do have to be in. And luckily I was more than prepared, obviously. But I mean, I'm just thankful that I was, and we're just at home now. We have been actually since the beginning of the month.
And now our actual family, as far as it's crazy because all of this previous times we were kind of looked at like, oh, why do you guys prepare so much? It's because, part of it is that we knew something big was coming. We knew that something like this could hit, and we did the contingencies to actually take care of it. As far as going the step above that, like going to the cabin or something like that, this is a really hard decision for everybody because we don't know what's going to happen. But do you see how people are acting? I mean, like, isn't this nuts?
I actually I see how people are reacting on like social media. I honestly have been in a quarantine, so I'm not really hanging out with a lot of my friends and things like that, even. And I have to do that for my own health. I'm one of those people, they said stay inside. I was already inside. But, I think a lot of people are freaking out. A lot of people are in denial. I think there's just this is a really crazy time we're living in. It's very surreal. Yes, I was already wearing gloves to the gas station. 6 weeks ago, in the beginning of February, and the man at the gas station looked at me, and I told him why I was wearing them. Ironically, the same guy at the gas station the last time I went in said he wanted the entire city to be issued masks. So, yeah, people were looking at me like I was crazy at first, because I was wearing gloves and taking precautions, now they don't probably think I was being so crazy.
What's your opinion? What's your opinion about employees of grocery stores and things like that not wearing gloves or not doing this? If they're canceling all this other stuff, I just think it's kind of crazy that if they are going to cancel this stuff, if the government's going to directly partner with people like Target, Walmart, this and that, how are they putting their employees out there without protection? But then yet their people, the other government agencies, they're all being protected. They're all protecting themselves. They're all wearing masks. And then the very people that we're supposed to go in and get our food through, they're not making their employees or even letting their employees do it. They don't want to. Somebody that I know that works at Target said that they would not let them wear it because they didn't want them to panic the customers. But the panic's already there. I would be looking at how customers are looking at that and thinking they're the ones stocking the food, they're touching money, they're doing all this stuff. I mean,
yeah, I actually tried to warn some of my friends to wear gloves that work with money or, that do things like drive people from the airport. I mean, I definitely thought of the people in my life that I know that come in contact with things like that. So I was concerned with them, and that they're not allowing them to wear gloves, huh? Some of the places.
No, gloves are okay, but none of them, the ones I saw were wearing it. Masks was not in this case. I don't know about if all of the stores got here now. If all of
I guess I just thinking of everybody. Our people who work in restaurants and people who work in all sorts of places. But yeah, our cashiers and our people that get our society through and they work hard.
Well, what do you?
They should be safe. I guess I've been thinking about our healthcare workers. I mean, really, I've been praying for everyone. Now, I'm praying for everyone.
And that I love you. Another thing too. What do you think about the people that? So our family, we can't say exactly too much about certain people in our family though are not only being affected by this, but some folks some people in our family might even lose full-on careers because of this. Again, there's a few that are directly involved in some of this stuff, and without saying too much, how much is this affecting just everybody here? I mean, wouldn't you say that this is kind of the before the storm for everybody else? I don't think people in the other parts of the country realize, how many people this is truly affecting.
Yeah. I think once it's like a real thing, a friend of mine lives on the same street as the nursing home. So she had to hear the ambulances going down her street over and over again. I have another friend that lives by another nursing home in Issaquah too. And, when you're hearing when it's real, it's real. And, I think that's why you were meant to tell people to get prepared, to get ready for things, to take the kind of precautions that, honestly, now looking back, I feel so much better that I was wearing gloves at the gas station. As silly as it might seem to some, I feel better. And when we take logical precautions and we're logically prepared for things, and it's just, I don't really understand why that's such a hard concept for people, or people think that's fear or panic. It's not. It's the opposite. It's being ready and moving forward and thinking ahead, and it's wise. And I felt like, oh gosh, people are going to think I'm crazy. And then because I was trying to warn people, and then I thought, what? I don't even care if people think I'm crazy. I care about them. If they listen, who cares? I just feel like we can all just do our part right now to keep others safe. We can do our part to be logical. We can do our part to help our elders to get the things that they need. We can all do something to help the other people in our lives. We can pray for one another. We can do things. It's not fear. It's not panic. It's action. And that's what we all need to be doing, is we need to take action. Proactive is really does make a difference. I really believe that. And I'm really praying, for people everywhere. Do I think it's going to stop what's happening? No, I don't. But I think it's going to get us through this. Yes, I really do believe that prayer will get many of us through this. And I don't think our economy is going to fare well. No. So let us get prepared, and let us be ready, and let us move forward without fear, but together with the people that we care about and the people in our lives. And let's be ready to help our elders and help those others. That's what we need to do. We're here together. We're all humans. This is going to affect our entire planet.
It's almost like the purpose of why I don't know what drew us to do what we did, but putting the state groups together all over the country. And it's like, what normal YouTube channel does that? I'm not even considered a prep channel, but yeah, we've gotten all of these people together across the country to meet and talk about prep and preparing. And now look, it's like, it looks like it was meant to be.
Amen. 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 We're not moving forward blindly.
I know we
people
made
that are getting prepared. I was prepared. I'm glad. I needed to be. I do have to be conscientious of my health. And now I'm here and I'm safe and I'm at home and I have everything I need. And hopefully as we move forward, I can help others. And that's what I'm going to do.
All right. Well, I love you. Again, Lady Liberty 333, of course. Yeah, my sister in real life. So thank you, and I'm so glad that I'm glad that Mom did not have to deal with this too. She had COPD and emphysema, and I can only imagine if she was still around. All right. Well,
I'm thinking of all of the Foogle fam and all of your loved ones that you care about. And I know that we are all here for a reason. And I know I see the people in the chats and their hearts and what kind of people they are. And they are the helpers. And they are the people that are meant to be here to help others. And I want them to believe in themselves. And I want them to move forward in faith and hope. And I'm praying for all of you. And me too.
I love you.
I love you too. Bless you, bro. We're getting through it. We always will. We always do.
All right. Up next, we have Aussie's Walkabout. And let's see. I'll pull up his card. I think this is so much more serious than people understand. Aussie's Walkabout. You are live on Marfoogle News.
Hey, brother. How you doing?
So you're...
I wish we could be talking about something better than this, like Hillary getting arrested or something. But I guess it's times of the way things are at the moment, eh?
Now you say
get straight into it.
Now the note says that your wife is an infectious disease nurse. Is this correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's correct. Without giving away like the hospital and doctors, obviously. It's a pretty big establishment over in North Carolina. We have contact with them and hear what they've said about it. They're really worried about it, and they've basically said that this is probably about the 6th or 7th time that the virus, or CV, if you want to call it, has gone around the world. You know, people in the States could have contracted some sort of variety of this in its earlier stages, and not really know about it. You know, how many people do we know that have had that consistent cough, that nagging, just like hairy sort of feeling in your throat? And they've put it down to where they've had so many cases of where it looked like the flu, but it wasn't the flu. And what's got them really worried is it's such a slow burning virus, you know. And you were talking about the certain glassing on the lungs. Well, they called it, I think it was crystallization. They had a crystallization of the lungs, which is what they're noticing on some of the X-rays, or calcification. It was one of the two. There was a calcification was for something, but it could have been to do with that or not. But they're really worried about it because of how slow burning it is, and they said it could go around the world again in a different variety, basically mutate itself again and go around, which is why it's getting people on the second time and the third time, and it can be fatal because it's already done that damage on the first round, and it's going to hit you on the second, you know, or the third. So they're worried about it like that, and I just thought I'd let you guys know about that, and I don't know what we can do about it, but yeah, I just pass on the information.
And you said you are in, you are in Australia? Is that correct?
No, well, I'm in Tennessee now.
Okay.
I'm in Tennessee. I've been here for 8 years now. Married a U.S. girl, moved over here.
Okay, and then...
yeah.
And is she seeing... obviously she's coming home to you and telling you all this stuff. Are you worried about her being around this kind of stuff, or does she get to not be around it?
Yes and no. They won't be dealing with any sort of cases like that. They can't, because they can't test it. They don't have no test kits. So they're not actually seeing anybody. Basically, all they're doing is the regular sort of infectious stuff, wounds, and other sort of viral infections. CV is being pushed to the back burner, basically. But yeah, so I can tell you through their office, they're not actually taking any patients in.
This is, and just the thought that we might have already had it, and then it comes back around.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense, because they're saying, how are people getting it so fast? Do you know about that? Why are people, they're already getting it a second time right after they're done?
I couldn't tell you. I'm not privy to any of that, but I can tell you is like we've probably all had it at some stage, some variety of it, maybe, and now we're waiting for the second, third, fourth round of it to come through.
And would you say what would you say to the people that say, oh, it's just because people, for some reason, when people said, oh, CV or the CV is right here on Lysol, it's been around forever, that's a different kind of CV. That this new one, there's tons of different kinds. It's kind of like saying, I guess, how would you put that into words? Like, this is not the same thing. It's not the same thing at all. Just because it has the common name doesn't mean that it's the thing that Lysol put it on there for, like, oh, it kills this. This is something that is totally different than anything we've seen ever. I don't even know why.
CV's probably been around since day one, I don't know. I'm not an epidemiologist, I couldn't tell you, but I know the fact that what they're saying is that this has probably been around the world 4 or 5 times, maybe a dozen times. They don't know. And it keeps mutating and keeps mutating. And every time it mutates, it's getting worse. And that's why you're starting to see that the infectious rate, it can stay undetected for so long. And then when it actually gets its hooks in you, it can drop you just like that. It's getting more lethal. It's becoming a perfect killing machine, basically. It seems to be what it's doing. Especially because it can stay undetected for so long.
Oh my gosh, this is so nuts.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Aussie's Walkabout.
Yeah.
I pulled up your channel. Make sure to go love
welcome,
Mob. This is a Foogle fan member. He is in our groups, but he also has his channel, Aussie's Walkabout. I didn't even ask. By the way, we knew you had one. The guy doesn't even ask for a shout out. This is the kind of guy he is. Make sure to go love Mob this.
But just jump on if anyone wants to. Like I said the other night, if anyone is looking for a place to bug out, we've got 600 acres here. We'll take a couple of people if they've got a tent, RV, whatever. If it gets that serious and you're really looking for somewhere, and it's 600 acres here, we can find a place for a few families. So I'll put that out to the fam.
There's so many amazing people that I sometimes I just don't know. Well, we might be coming. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've got all of our stuff here.
You're all welcome, man.
All right. You have a great day. Aussie's Walkabout.
Hey, you have a good night.
You too. That was Aussie's Walkabout. Next, we have John. John, you are live on Marfoogle News. What is going on?
Hey, Adam. It's great to talk to you. I'm a big fan. And I was listening to a show, I'm listening to the radio all day at work and different programs. And one thing that stood out to me was Mike Adams. He made a point that when it does come to, lockdown, they're not going to give us any warning. They're not going to say, oh, hey, in a week, everybody's quarantined in their homes. And so that would just cause like a total freak out. And I just think it's important to get what you need right now because it could happen tonight,
It's been changing every hour. Literally, they said in the next couple days we might close schools down. The next day at 1 p.m., boom, all schools are shut down. And then they said, I mean, how many times in this last week they'll say, oh, well, we might have to do this. 2 hours later, we've done this. I just think there's something
Exactly.
far too weird about this.
National Guard is already activated
They
here
said one
in
state.
Washington and several other states. And I'm in Washington.
We're together. We need to put together our Washington crew, but also you have to understand. They said we were thinking 9 days for 5 states to have military. Now it's 6 states in 2 days. So something happened. 3 days.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's also super important to get prepared with God. If you don't know how to pray, disciples asked Jesus, how should we pray? And he, taught them the Lord's, what we call the Lord's Prayer. And it's the most concise, complete, cover of every base. And that's all you really need. Get right with God.
Well, you know what we'll do is we'll end up linking it on
Because you never know
our
when-
website so they can go learn it if they don't know it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
I think people that are
martial law. Oh no. Sorry.
By the way, I think people that are even atheists right now are starting. I've actually seen a couple posts on Facebook that they said that they haven't talked to God in 25 years, and this is somebody in particular says, I haven't talked to God in 25 years. I just started praying last night. Their family member is now being affected and being
good.
held. So yeah, what were you going to say about martial law?
And your sister's great.
Go ahead. I think there's some sort of delay. This is like this is like me and this guy standing outside of Target. We're like, no, you go, no, you go, you go, no, you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's all right. There's probably some sort of delay.
I was gonna say your great sisters are great, aren't they? I have 4 older sisters, and they're a great source of strength and blessing and everything.
Dude, I love
yeah,
John.
we don't know when. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're cutting out. But I have 3 older sisters, and I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. I think you got the right kind of head on your shoulders.
Yeah, well, I love your show. I'll let some other callers get on.
Okay, John. Well, thank you for calling, and I appreciate you. Okay.
Hey, you bet. See you.
All right. Good night.
Bye.
Sometimes you just don't realize until you can't touch your face when you just want to just touch your face. It's bothering me. I have to. I just scrape my eye on it. Okay, we've got Voices of the Erased. You are live on Marfoogle News.
Hi, Adam. Hi. Thanks for letting me join in tonight.
No problem.
Now, I talked to Dex. I wanted to talk about the buoys. NASA 802 is up in the air right now, down over the fault lines. But I think what I'm keeping with tonight's theme, I have a link for you. I believe, hopefully you have it, is our buddy, Avi Loeb. He's the Harvard astrophysicist who you've covered many times over on the show to talk about Oumuamua and the projectile that's gone through the sky. If you take a look at that link, this past week at our BHI colloquium, Avi actually spoke before the scientists, and he covered the topic of CV. He, this past weekend, wrote a paper. He looked at the data across the globe and what has been happening and the numbers in all the countries. And what he did mathematically was calculate if we look at the rise of infection rates globally, when we look at the rise, there's an exponential rise, and that this will continue, that will on the trajectory where we are globally, our saturation point of basically billions of people getting the virus at one point or another, we're looking at the second week of May. So he speaks of that in that video. He speaks for about the first 6 minutes, and I thought you might find that interesting.
And do I have the right one?
This from,
it says BHI colloquium.
That's it. Yes, and that's Avi right there speaking. Mm-hmm.
And this is at Harvard University. So he's saying some.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I wish we. What we're gonna do is link this. I don't want to get. I know this is the kind of guy who would not do the kind of thing, copyright, but we just can't risk it right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have everybody watch this.
Yeah, take a listen to it, and I think, again, from the science side, from the data side, I think it would be worth a listen. All the students have to be off campus, out of the dorms by this weekend. So it's a full shutdown, and a lot of places look at Harvard as the leader on making decisions.
Wow. This is so unbelievably above where anyone thought it would be right now. And it's happening so fast. Mm-hmm. I mean, can anyone deny this at this point? Even if they say, oh, it's just a big farce to do this. It's not ending. It's just beginning. It's getting crazier and crazier every hour.
It's so important that as we talk about this, as we think about it, are we looking at it through an emotion lens or through data and evidence and information lens? And because it's very easy to go down the rabbit hole.
No, I agree. I think that's one of the smartest statements said on here in about a week. We've had a lot of panic, but we're trying to get people to think logically and think smart, and to understand that best case scenario is what we want, and that would be, hey, you spend 2 weeks at home, but we do have to look at the reality that the economy is going to get hit, everything's going to get hurt here, including people and their families. I know it's really frustrating for me when we already had somebody who. We knew we had people that were getting quarantined, and then all of a sudden we knew someone who passed away, and then for people to say, oh, it's this, it only affects this. It's like, don't spout stuff you haven't seen yet. At the same might, they go, well, I don't know anybody that knows anybody. Well, do you know anybody that knows anybody that hasn't got it? So don't say anything, because now it's like, you just gotta, I guess, never underestimate your enemy, right? That's
right.
The biggest rule. And people are underestimating their enemy left and right. And I just don't understand it.
Yeah, and we are in such trying times right now, and we get so many mixed messages about so many different things. And it's just, as soon as it seems like one crisis, if you will, resolves itself, now there's another one, and it feels like there's this ongoing snowball effect. And at some point it's like, okay, wait, I got to stop. I got to take a breath. What can I control? I can control myself and take care of myself, my family, those that are close to me. And you're right. It's just important to remain like cool, calm, and collected. And I know what's like our Arizona group that we Zoom on Sundays. It's, we'll share some of kind of what's shaken down, but more so it's about what can we do to remain cool, calm, and collected focused and not let these external factors dictate our lives, but continue trying to live despite what we're being bombarded with day in and day out.
Which, by the way, we just had a comment. Lady Green Eyes says, toilet paper here is gone. All too in all stores are empty in Ontario, Canada. And I've seen people selling toilet paper $100 for 24 rolls. Wow.
Oh, this toilet paper drama is out of control.
It's unbelievable.
It's out of control.
It's absurd.
Why toilet paper? Why
not water or something else?
We were inundated with a lot. We were inundated with a lot of toilet paper images, and it was almost like that predictive programming of like, oh wait, I'm seeing this toilet paper issue. Quick, go get toilet paper. It's so complicated, but the psychology it's fascinating and alarming at the same time.
Absolutely. I want to thank you for calling in and thank you for sharing this. This is one of those videos where, we get hundreds of videos. I'm actually going to watch this one because I feel like these are the gentlemen that you should at least give a chance. Obviously, they are incredibly smart in the first place. So I'm going to check this out among others, and then we're going to link it on our website so everyone can see it.
And T-Man has a direct line with Avi. Avi goes down there. I mean, this is someone who is very much in the know in so many ways.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for sharing it. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
Thank you. I'd like to thank you for creating Creators Corner because I need tutorials and I see there's a lot of assistance there for the creators and for the work I'm trying to do with Voices of the Erased. And what my advocacy is, kids need both parents after separation and divorce. I'm totally doing a shift here on a topic, but this is what my passion is, and this is the work that I do. And too many parents are erased from their children's lives, 22 million in America alone. And children need to have both of their parents in their lives. And I can't talk about it enough and plug it enough. And just thank you for giving me the moment to say that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime here. And, I've seen your cause before. I've seen the stuff. So thank you so much for calling in. That's Voices of the Erased. And we'll make sure to link you as well and everything else that you're working on. So thank you so much for being on, okay?
You're so sweet. Thank you. God bless you and your family and everyone here in the room. I'm done.
All right, you too.
You got to move on.
All right, bye-bye. Jamu Lynn, thank you. I'm going to get back to you. Kelly2334, thank you for the diamonds. One love. Rixer Upper, Enchanted Bayou, Angie D. I know I missed people, so I apologize. We're trying to get the tidy alerts up there so we can actually see. Because if you guys are going to support the show, it sucks that I can't get to all of you. You guys, especially some of you that support more than others, just no matter what you are, little or big, I want to make sure you guys know that we appreciate your support. Oh my gosh. So we didn't talk about this. Darlene Awake says, man from Kent quarantine left. He got on a bus. Okay, so the hotel that I went to, and I don't know why I didn't include this tonight. I just dumb. So the hotel that I went to, that finally got a person in, and it was a homeless man who tested presumptively positive for the CV. They put him in the Kent Hotel or the CV Hotel. I did a show on it. I went there in person before they had their first patient, and the gentleman was homeless, went there for one night, didn't even get the test back, basically, stayed there, and they said later that, yeah, it's a positive. He not only left, the security guard tried chasing him, and you could see in the video the security guard's like, hey, don't leave. They couldn't force him to stay. Not only did he just leave, he went across the street to the Shell where I was standing at, stole, literally shoplifted, and then walks right out, gets on a bus, and leaves on a public bus. Now they say that they've taken that bus out of commission, so that bus is just like somewhere getting sanitized or whatever. Who was on that bus, right? If 30 people were on that bus, then they all go. They didn't know, but then they don't tell us the exact time. They should be like, hey, the 444 bus from here to there. They should be telling that information. That's dumb. If this is this bad, you would say, hey, if you were on the 444 bus from Kent to, downtown Seattle, you need to get yourself checked. It's crazy. Jemu Lin, thank you so much. Essentially 3 Ninja Guineas. I cannot say enough thank yous. James Huff, thank you so much. Almost 3 Ninja Guineas yourself. Bella, almost 3 Ninja Guineas. Thank you guys for being the top 3 contributors this stream. Right behind you, JR Pale Horse, thank you for continuing to support me. Darlene Awake, Lady GT476, Kelly2334, April Osborne, Zippy Moons, Subliminal Red Pill. Absolutely amazing. You guys can't say enough. BJ Blake, thank you for the lemon. Tiffany Angel, Jesse Lynn, Angela, Snafu Snaps, Fabo Senior, Angie D, Reed 55. Thank you so much. And thank you for the emojis. Queen Fisher RN, Rockin' America, Carol R, Somebody Special. I mean, there's just so many people here. So many thank yous. I can't even say it. Carol Palmer, Susan Donahue. I can't say enough. By the way, so I'll just be honest with you. There's a lot of things that are going on, and I think that social media is going to play the next part. The first part, the fact that Google did the site and they're directly working with the government. The government's probably asking Google, YouTube, all of them to I don't know. I feel like something's going to happen as far as what's going to be able to go out. That's why we're doing the official stuff. If somebody's reviewing this, just know these are all from official sources, and we linked it. We give you the bibliography. Bert11, thank you. I appreciate that. BJ Blake, thank you again. You guys are all absolutely mossing. You're a mossing. Husker Abbey, thank you for the ice cream. Gypsy 333 Rose, Summer Ellis, Sunshine B, G-Van. Thank you for all of the people that bought and did gifted subscriptions like Jamie Lynn, James Huff, Bella Belly, Belly, JR Pale Horse, Darlene Awake. You guys, because people are like, hey, how do I get the Mafia badge? And you guys just do it. You guys just get it. So thank you guys. JR Pale Horse says, just shouted you out last night. Totally T, thank you for being active in the Creators Corner. There's a lot of changes that might have to happen. We might not be able to go on any other platform. I don't know. There's just so many big things going on right now. We might have to disappear. This is just absolutely craziness. I don't know what to say. Some of the stuff that is going on. Business is Bride. Maria C. Karma is here. Maine for Marf. Thank you. I Love Beagle says that the audio is garbled. I think that was about 4 minutes ago. It says that we hit some sort of stop there. G Rogue. BJ Blake, you're the best. Adam, hey Marf, where is guard being deployed? Washington. Let me see if I can actually pull this up. Ask, where is the National Guard being deployed? Dex, can you come in and let us know? Can you actually find out what states, and then let's see here. Florida, Iowa, Louisiana, New York, Rhode Island, and Washington. Sorry. And then Dex, I'm going to...
And New York, right?
And New York. So, obviously, there's too much to even fathom here. I mean, this is global. This is no longer a national thing. This is global.
I mean, we've had we've had shows and times where we're talking about topics where we said, hey, there's really nothing else to talk about but this topic. It's just so, it's the topic everyone's talking about. This actually completely dwarfs that. This is so huge what is happening, and the amount of attention this is getting, and I believe it's the rightful attention, right? I mean, it's not like this shouldn't get the attention. It's
well, how are you going to talk about
everyone.
I mean, even like what's even crazy is people are like, this is a distraction. Weinstein gets 23 years, but that's a drop in the bucket because we're about to be trapped in our house for weeks. We're getting locked down. We're getting quarantined. People are, I mean, this is nuts.
Well, and the caller who said, hey, they're not going to announce it. Think about that. Like really, they're not going to come on and say, hey, tomorrow you guys are all on, or plan for it next week. You're all on lockdown, right? I don't know how it'll roll out. I imagine, what we saw in China was, people started banging on doors and said, you're not coming out anymore. And those people were officials. They were military. They were police. I don't know if that's how it's going to roll out here, but man, that would be pretty, imagine how that would happen is, will a police person, will an authority, will a National Guard roll down your street with a bullhorn and say, stay in your home? Is that how they're going to do it?
Are they going to have drones above us? DJI Mavic Pros flying around? Are they going to have DJI Inspires flying around saying, stay in your home? You must go home. Please put on a mask. This is what happened there. And now everything is repeating itself. And then globally, everybody's going to be inside their home. Imagine that. Across the entire globe, everyone is going to be trapped inside their house. What is going on?
And here's the other thing. We've closed all the schools, at least where I am in your state and a lot of the states around me. We're closing schools, right? It's spring break. Now, for the kids that are in, say, 10th grade or below, they're kind of stuck with their parents. There's nothing they can do. But there's a lot of kids, even up through college, that are thinking that they're invincible, right? And they don't believe what's happening, or they don't pay attention to this. And all they look at it is, hey, it's now free time. We're going to go out and play. And they're running around the malls. They're running around the town. They're getting together. They're partying. They're having fun. They're going to go to spring break, and they're going to do all these things. And, unfortunately, they're adolescents. So they're programmed during this period of time to rebel against any authority that tells them the right thing, especially their parents. If their parents say, you need to really be in the house and not go out and hang out with your friends and be around all these people, they're mentally wired for the next so many years to fight back against that and say, you're wrong, parents, I'm going to go do my own thing, right? So that, unfortunately, is a bad thing that's going to happen right now, is that youth group that's going to be running around.
Well, we'll see. I think the malls are going to be shut down soon. The stores, the restaurants, we're going to see in the next 7 days a whole lot of change. And we're going to be trying to cover it as long as we can before something happens. I feel it. I feel it in my gut. And I know you guys do too. It's been absolutely nuts lately. So thank you guys. I love you, Dex. I love all of you guys. I love my sister. I love my family. I love my daughters. I love my wife. Mrs. Marf, if you're in here, I love you. And just can't say enough. If you guys do want to support our channel, there's plenty of ways to do so at marfooglenews.com. Also, we are doing a lot of different things. We have found a good reason to revamp Patreon, as far as we're going to be doing once a month meetings. And then all sorts of different programs with me and Dex actually doing stuff over there. So if you do want to join Patreon, for a long time it was basically if you wanted to support, you could support there. If you didn't, you didn't. But we are going to utilize some of that because we can upload it onto other places and then go over there without affecting other platforms. So again, it's like some things are forced for a good reason, right? So, all right. Thank you guys. Love you. Be safe. Be prepared. And now it's time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. It's where I say thank you to the most important people here. That's you. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. By the way, that's...
Remember me when you speak, going back now. Remember me when you're gone, Kobe Jack, gonna bring the right on back. Disaster nice, I love Beagles and a patty pie. Business bride and the rest on the right. Minnesota man, 44, and the rest might just go. You got to see the one that we've found. Gotta be the love that we see, the love that we see. Maria C. and the rest of the love me. James Hart, thank you for everything that you do, and the Jackie Ronnie boss and a go-do. And you do what you need with the just ordinary, nanny. Remember me from number one, I used to do, but what I was. And now you know this is real, we must prepare the greatest deal, contingencies all the way to go. Now this is what we sing long ago, now you bring. Mike 1968 rockin' America, Mike 19 and everybody over here. Thank you guys, Maine for Marv, Karma is here. I love Beagles, Petty Puff, and the rest, no fear. Pat Leading Fox, thank you for everything. Your thoughts and prayers are heard every day. Minute 70, you're the way. Got to say where we are, and everyone got their cars loaded up, going bugging out, and we know it is never changing, going down, and we look insane. Off the top of the dome, no we know. Whoa, 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 La la la, la 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 la. It looks like the luckiest one was Mike 1978, and we got the Snapper Snaps and the rest of our crew. Twisted Angel and the Twisted Tats too, and the Tiffany and the Dottie V and the Play Hard 6-9 with the C Minionator, Cutie Kitty and the Katrina, Darlene Awake. And are you aware that the Eco Booster and the J-Stone 78 with the Losers? No, never, never, I'm gonna bring it down. And the homemade J with the rum on the crown. Hey, Queen Fisher sure are. And I know that we be growing again and again and again and again and again. La 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 la. Ilea, thank you for all of your support and love for the fam. Once we go, we build it down. La 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 la. Don't lean away, gotta say. One need an organ, gotta say. Gonna bring Trinity, red or blue, pill got it all. La 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 la. Chance Paladin, Gem Light, Keeper 777. La 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 la. King Cuts, Equine Pepper, and the rest of my crew with the Resh Lime PHX Breeze. And you know that Oceanta Bear, Checkawa, and the rest, and we are bare. Or maybe just the shelves make you just go down. La 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 la. J.R. Pale Horse, thank you for being here. Hey, one need an organ and a darling awake, and now we are sorting all of our foods, and we might go down, see everyone, make sure that you are safe. Get your weapons and put them outside the safe. La 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 la. Rock for Life, Dottie V, and Paul Robb, here we see. Got to say, got to be, got to love the sea of the food, the fam, and the men like her. Earthworm Jim, got to say, got to love them today. La 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 la. James Huff and the fans that go round barefoot last. Thought the big Phil Billy from YouTube, do it do. Margie 74, Jojo I like me for me. Kitty country, not any okay with that next gen. And I mean 521 and a Dottie V, Tiffany Angel with what we can see. Kappa Chow, now we know, gotta go with that sweet Ram Sunshine B. Do what we can now, la 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 from the red tsunami going down now. I wish my mommy was you so I could run and hide behind a rusty bumper with a meme. This isn't a meme this time. Gotta see now we know, now we know, now we know, now we know. La 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 la. Stay prepped, stay prayed, put on the full armor of God. Susie Donahue, thank you for being here. Regardless, if we ever put this somewhere else, I know that you've been behind me the whole time. And I know no matter what happens to me, you will have my back. La 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 la. Gavin Fugel fam, Dottie on the V, grabbing your man, loading it up, see. Gotta be the love that we love, then we gotta see that love that we love. Heidi Gregory, yo, oh, got a business pride with the rest of it. La 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 la.
Hi, this is Dex. Hi, it's Dex. It's so easy, my mom can do it. The shoutro is so easy, my mom can do it. The outro is so easy, my mom can do it. La 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 la. Hey, Robert 157, thanks for coming here. Hey, Kevin Fugo fam, thanks for stepping out for a minute with a lady. Green eyes, thanks for being here with me. Sweet Rams and Kami is here. Gonna bring it back and we ain't no fear. This way up at 888. Sweetie 1D needs a badge. Bone number. Proud grandma and sweet rams and the dot TV and all these games that we play. Earthworm Jim and Dottie V, we gonna get that like we see. Juanita Oregon, Meme 521 with the brutal legend and the crazy coyote with the usernames, and I got to bring it back and now we've gotta say it like the beer told. Bring it like we are Alberto. Gonna bring it back like you know we go, yo. Oh, I see what's going on here. Oh no, not this one. We make it right now, you know. Oh, oh. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
I'm not sweet, sweet Melissa. You've got to bring it down, 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 down. We've got our all-time patent leading cars, Jetty, 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 and a lady, Chitty, 476. Sweet Melissa and the car bomber with the Dr. Neil. Dr. Neil, thank you for coming all the way through every night. Oh, 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 oh. There's none like you, I have to say. Mosquitoes, butterfly, and other dancing in the shadows. If you are dancing in the shadows, are you then a dark, dark dancer? Hey, Dottie V and April Osborne, one with the C. Gotta bring back with Eddie and go back with them emojis. Mosquitoes, butterfly with the LOL and the JR tie. Gotta bring it back like CK Freddy did way back in the back. Breakaway civilization with the da la 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 la. Bring it back like we said ha ha.
Absurd, only rip it absurd. Uncensored, only rip it absurd.
This is the D-Live anthem.
Rip it absurd. Uncensored, only rip it absurd. Uncensored, only rip it absurd. Uncensored, only rip it absurd.
We know that you got to. Now you gotta get it funky, bring it down monkey. And you know that we do. Kami is here and the rest of the crew gotta go back with the whoa whoa. You might want to stop that divvy, otherwise we can't get that shout your knee. And then the Toro 2020 with the Revo, Bonjay gotta go with the Cat K. Beam 21 with the Oshanta Bear, proud grandma, and we always know it's here. Bring it right back with the Chance Paladin. We can only do it here, now we get in. Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Uncensored and we give them the bird.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Uncensored and we give them the turn. Hey, on the leg, on the ring, like we say.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Rixa Upper, Crazy Coyote, C Pizza, run the other way, Zero.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Jam Jam. Got the Jam Jam. Got the Jam Jam. Bring it back down. Jam Jam. Got the Jam Jam. Bring it back now. Got the dancing in the shadows and the relevancy. Bring it right back like I got the key ski. Me and 521, bring it right back. No heaven on with you, going right back and
uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
April Osborne ripping absurd. April Osborne and we ripping absurd.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
April Osborne and we ripping absurd.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
J.R. Bellhorn's ripping absurd.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Sweet Ram down when we rip it absurd.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Janelle A and we rip it absurd.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Shield and sword and it never gets hard.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Karma is here and we got no fear.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Jim J.R. Bellhorn.tv and Beauty Kitty.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Darlene Awake and we rip it absurd.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Susan Rock and we rip it absurd.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
.tv and we rip it absurd.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Shield and sword and we rip it absurd.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Dex J and we rip it absurd.
Ooh. I said, ooh.
Gotta bring it back when we rip the dirt. Gotta bring it back like we rip the dirt. Take it down, take it down, yeah.
Cat day, and it's not for snaps. Bringing it right back, 11 peg and 11 and the track. I'm gonna hit it back and gonna kick it back and now.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Queen Fisher RN.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Sweet Melissa.
Rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
Lady GT476.
Uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd. Uncensored and we rip it absurd.
I love the way that they say.
Uncensored, we rip it absurd. 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 Uncensored, we rip it absurd.
All right, you guys. Holy moly, what happened?
Oh, yeah. By the way, guys, if I do end up hosting somebody, I'm not responsible for what they say, but make sure to support free speech. D-Live is awesome, so make sure to go check it out. You know what I mean? Just looking at it and just doing it, and make sure to support other creators, and, you know, seriously, be safe. Seriously. Just waiting it behind. Okay, well.